the Holo New Year Cup. A battle where fierce rivals and toughened warriors race for supremacy. And today, I am here yet again to make predictions on the top 4 members of each group. Our most notable absence this year is the first champion and founder of the Holo New Year Cup, Minato Aqua, who apparently is going to attend a wedding on the day of the tournament. Now, just like before, please remember that this video is being made for the sake of fun, and that regardless of who wins or loses, I know it will be a wonderful tournament. So don't take it too hard if I don't pick your Oshi, alright? And likewise, please don't take it too hard if I'm a bit critical in my analysis of the skills of some members. It's all in the spirit of fun, and I love them all. Now, without further ado, here's the participants for the 4th Holo New Year Cup. The purple shine of lightning reveals those who tread upon the battlefield this year. Group A starts off quite strong. Its members are Matsuri, Fubuki, Okayu, Marin, Towa, Nene, Chloe, Iroha, Amelia, Kronii, Muna, and Anya. Right off the bat, we can see some top performers in this group, so the competition here will be especially fierce. I'd say this is the strongest group. And of course, it is only natural I begin with none other than the current champion herself. Like lightning, she is who splits the very heavens themselves, lighting the way for all those who dare lay claim to her throne. The one who awaits her challengers at the summit of the mountain, the Purple Lightning Bolt, Nekomata Okayu! This is a big no-brainer. Okayu is a veteran who has always been a strong contender, having come in 3rd place in the very first tournament and 4th in the 2nd tournament. And obviously, she is the winner of the 3rd tournament, having come quite ahead from everyone else with a 9-point lead over the Azure Flash Comet herself. It was a total and utter victory, and I must admit, it caught me by surprise because while I always knew Okayu was good, I never knew she was that good. But in hindsight, seeing how well she was performing during practice streams leading up to the tournament, it makes a lot of sense. And the fact she's able to keep calm no matter the situation is a great boon. This year, the Purple Lightning Bolt, our overlord of the storm, shall defend her throne. She is the standard that all will have to surpass if they wish to claim the champion title for themselves. As such, I am quite sure Okayu will have no trouble making it to the finals. So the real question to ask is, will she remain on her champion throne when the storm is over? Only time will tell. My second pick for Group A will also come as a no surprise. That being she who voyages through storms, the Crimson Storm Voyager, Hosho Mari. For 2 tournaments in a row now, Marin has been able to place 3rd, which pretty much caught everyone by surprise. In fact, even Marin herself wonders how she's done it. But one thing is for sure, those skills do not lie. Our Crimson Voyager is good. But can she once again voyage her way through the storm? Or will she be caught by the riptide below? Or perhaps she'll make it to the summit, not just having survived, but conquered the storm herself. Only time will tell. My 3rd pick is the angel on the field, demon on the wheel, the speed demon, Tokoyami Towa. Having qualified for the finals in the 2nd tournament, placing 11th, and then placing 6th in the 3rd tournament, Towa's got skills. It is especially worthy of note that in the 3rd tournament, she was part of the infamous Group B, which was filled with monsters, she herself being one of them. While not as strong as the previous 2 picks, Towa has improved over the years, and she's a solid contender who has a big potential to place very high in the finals. And, who knows, maybe even claim the throne and upgrade herself from Speed Demon to Demon Queen of the Storm. Only time will tell. Now, as for the 4th pick, this is where it gets difficult. So let's first discuss who I believe has the potential to make it. I've always believed Matsuri to be solid on the track, and that belief hasn't changed. However, her major weakness lies in her mental fortitude, as her performance during the actual tournaments decreases compared to practice streams because of her nervousness. She doesn't handle pressure very well, and as anyone should know, mental fortitude is of utmost importance for any competitive game or sport. Still, Matsuri made it to the finals in the 1st tournament, having tied with Roboco for 7th place, and while she did not advance to the finals in the 2nd tournament, she managed to place 2nd in the Zako Cup just below Roboco. As for the 3rd tournament, she did not make it to the finals yet again, but she didn't play the Zako Cup since she placed high enough in the preliminaries. And again, if she manages to calm her nerves, she will be a force to be reckoned with. Then we have Fubuki, who also is a solid contender, while not lacking in either mechanical skills or mental fortitude. She's a veteran as well, who placed second in the very first tournament, just above Okayu, although with a massive 14-point difference below the champion, Minato Aqua. In the second tournament, she made it to the finals yet again, this time placing 6th, just below Okayu and Luna, who both were 1 point above Fubuki. Unfortunately, she did not make it to the finals in the third Holo New Year Cup. Still, Fubuki placed high enough and did not drop into the Zako Cup. Finally, Kronii and Chloe, who were both new in the third Holo New Year Cup, made it to the finals, even though they ended up placing 11th and 12th respectively, with a 1 point difference from each other. They were on different groups in the preliminaries, so I find it funny that now they will be competing against each other for the 4th tournament's preliminaries. This could be the start of an interesting rivalry. Amongst these 4 members, all of them have the potential to make it, but I think for me at least, the choice starts to become clear. My final pick for Group A will be Shirakami Fubuki. Let me explain my reasoning. Amongst these 4 contestants, Matsuri has a major weakness in her mental fortitude, holding her back, so she is probably the weakest. As for both Kronii and Chloe, while they made it to the finals in the previous tournament, while Fubuki didn't, both of them played in the preliminaries in arguably the easiest groups, those being Group A and C, compared to Fubuki, who had a really fierce competition in Group D. Group A's greatest threat was the Purple Lightning Bolt Okayu herself, but she was way beyond in skill compared to everyone else. Other than Okayu, there was Kanata, who improved quite a lot and too made it to the finals, and Roboco, the winner of the Zako Cup in the previous year. But overall, the competition was not that big. As for Group C, I'd say it is the most balanced in skill of all the groups, but still, compared to Group B and D, it was not that bad. With all of this in mind, and the fact that Fubuki has a solid track record of her accomplishments in the previous tournaments, having been a finalist twice and placing quite high, I'm confident she has a big chance of making it this year. As such, she is my final pick for Group A. But as I've been saying so far, only time will tell. But before we move on to Group B, I'd like to make a honorable mention. Kazama Hiroha. I haven't seen much of what she can do, but in a recent Mario Kart stream, I saw her perform consistently well. So while I did not pick her as a finalist in Group A, I wouldn't be surprised if she makes it as well. So keep your eyes on her. I have a good feeling about her. Now moving on to Group B. This group is, I feel, the most balanced in skill of all the groups. But nonetheless, there are really good racers here, and I don't doubt the competition will be quite fierce. Its members are Roboco, Miko, Mel, Suisei, Hato, Ayame, Watame, Luna, Lami, Gura, Kayla, and Kobo. And of course here too, my first pick is quite obvious. Her stellar luminance is one that inspires brilliance to even the darkest of depths. Her destination is to once again have her azure light dazzle on the mountain summit. Don't take your eyes off the stars above, or you'll miss her in a flash. The Azure Flash Comet, Hoshimachi Suisei! She is the one that originally made me interested in this yearly event, with her underdog story of how she once took the championship, an established legend that bears weight to this day. Suisei's skills are truly stellar, and everybody knows it, and she is, without a doubt, the strongest contender by far in Group B. Like Okayu, she's a veteran, and while she didn't make it to the finals in the first tournament, she built up her legend by dethroning the first champion, the founder Minato Aqua, with a 1 point difference. When the Azure Flash takes aim, few are the ones who can stop her. She's an unstoppable force that will fly at full throttle beyond the stars should she wish. And as the second crowned champion in the Holo New Year Cup, she put up a valiant defense of her title in the third cup. Having been a part of the infamous Group B, she comfortably qualified to the finals, ending up in second place just below the Purple Lightning Bolt. Even still, her glory is by no means lesser, for Suisei's skills shine true, and I have no doubt she's one of the members with the highest likelihoods to become champion yet again. Hers is a mighty willpower which pierces through her own fate. My second pick is perhaps one who follows Suisei's legacy the most, an underdog story of her own right, and one who surprised me quite a lot in the previous tournament. She is who swims against the current, valiantly rebelling against the tide of fate, washing away all those who stand in her way. The Cerulean Riptide, Gawr Gura! Back in the previous tournament, Gura was put into the infamous Group B, together with monsters like Aqua, Towa, and Suisei, and let's be honest, we all thought she was done. Gura herself thought she was done, but this shark never gave up. She practiced really hard, and it really showed with her performance in the cup. After what was probably the fiercest rivalry in the whole tournament, Gura managed to pave her way to the finals with 1 point above Pekora, something which took everyone, even Gura herself, by surprise. But it doesn't end there, for she ended up performing marvelously in the finals, placing 4th in the end. A very high placement, especially to a newbie in the Holo New Year Cup. Suffice to say, after how much she improved, this Riptide definitely earned her place amongst the monsters of Hololive. She's become a true monster of the depths, one that has a very good chance of claiming the championship and submerging the entire mountain beneath her waves of defiance. That would be the moment the Cerulean would turn to Asher. My third pick is the elite speedster, Sakura Miko. Another big surprise for me last tournament. After all, you'd think Miko would be a Zako Cup staple. However, for the third tournament, Miko practiced a lot and became quite good. Not only making it to the finals, but placing 5th in the end, just below the Cerulean Riptide. I'd say that she's got a good shot of making it to the finals again this year. And finally, the last pick is once again difficult to make, so let's go over the ones I believe can make it. Roboco is a veteran from the very first tournament. She tied with Matsuri for 7th place, and then in the second tournament, she ended up being the winner of the Zako Cup. In the third tournament, she placed high enough to not drop in the Zako Cup again. Here I must mention quickly that back in the second tournament, if you didn't make it to the finals, you would be placed in the Zako Cup by default. That changed in the third tournament due to high number of participants. So, from the third tournament onwards, only the bottom 4 in each group would compete in the Zako Cup. While I believe her chances to be the lowest compared to others I'm about to mention, I think we should give her due credit for her skills. I believe the potential is there, and if she practices a lot, she could be this year's surprise. Tsunomaki Watame is one of the stronger picks of Group B. In the second tournament, she was not able to make it to the finals, but after practicing every day in the weeks leading up to the third tournament, she managed to qualify for the finals, ending up placing 6th overall, tying with the speed demon Towa herself. An accomplishment that should not go unnoticed. This wholesome sheep can do it. Himemori Luna is another rather strong pick, and you should definitely not underestimate her. In the second tournament, she tied with Okayu in the finals for 4th place, and that should certainly put things into perspective. Unfortunately, in the third tournament, Luna faced strong competition in Group D and did not make it to the finals, but still placed high enough to not play in the Zako Cup. But I feel that Luna has yet to reveal the full extent of her powers. I remember that there was this one practice stream long ago where she was constantly being 1st place, and it really made an impression on me. It really wouldn't surprise me if this year she makes it to the Tsuyo Cup. I have heard good things about Kobo's skills, but sadly, I'm not that well informed on the matter to be able to pick her with confidence. The same applies to this final contender, however, I'll still say it. Kayla is a total wildcard pick for this group, and the reason being that Kayla is a mega grinder. She's kinda like Suisei in that aspect, perhaps even more, and it wouldn't surprise me if suddenly Kayla comes to the tournament with Mario Kart Pro skills. That's how much of a grinder she is. Honestly, the final pick for Group B is really difficult to make. Between Watame and Luna, it's really anyone's game. They are both really good, and I will probably agree with any arguments made for both. However, I think I'm slightly leaning towards Luna, just because she once tied with Okayu. Like I said, it's really anyone's game. I can just as easily see Watame making it to the finals, especially since Watame made it in the previous tournament, where everyone got even better at the game. Still, I don't want to write off Luna just because of that. As such, we can kinda count this as a dual pick. I'm 50.5% sure of Luna and 49.5% sure of Watame, and the more I think about it, the more unsure I get. Roboco, while she has the potential, she's not exactly at the same level as the two of them. And as for Kayla, she's a big unknown to me, but the knowledge of her grinding habits makes me believe she has a really good chance, so that is why Kayla is my number 1 wildcard pick for the entire tournament. It's just an instinct I have. Yeah, we'll call it the wildcard pick. So that is my final decision. Finally, Group C. I believe this to be the easiest group this time, but you should definitely not write off anyone here. In fact, I believe this group to be the most likely to surprises overall. Its members are Sora, Aki, Choco, Subaru, Mio, Pekora, Noel, Louie, Koyori, Ollie, Reine, and Zeta. Firstly, I am quite confident Choco will once again come last place in the Zako Cup. Choco will ferociously defend her Zako Queen title, and she will do it with a smile. For she is the Nurse of Steel, and her mental fortitude is the strongest in all of Hololive. Now, for the members I think will proceed to the Tsuyo Cup. Starting with the unlucky Okami Mio. She's quite good, even if her track record doesn't show it. In fact, looking back on the last tournament, I'm quite sure she would have been able to make it to the finals had she not disconnected during her match. Unfortunately, it resulted in her dropping into the Zago Cup, where she proceeded to absolutely make everyone eat her dust. She won the Zago Cup with a 17-point gap between her and the second place. Clearly, Mio is too good for Zago Cup, but she was there because of bad luck in the first place. This time, should things not go wrong, I think Mio will be able to give us a good show in the tournament, and I believe she is finals material. Next, we have another confident pick, none other than the Demon Lord, the Mastermind, the Bane of Camelot, the Sword of Mars, Overlord of Blood and Iron, the War Criminal, and Hololive's greatest and most genius villain, Usada Pekora! I have a lot to say about Pekora, for she might be one of the members I'd like to see win the most. Pekora is a veteran racer in the Holo New Year Cup, and she's a pretty strong one too. She placed 4th in the first tournament and 7th in the second tournament, and while she didn't make it to the finals in the third tournament, she performed really good, having been placed in the monstrous Group B. She had an amazing fierce battle against the Cerulean Riptide, where in the end, Gura beat her with a 1-point difference. But the back and forth between the two in the preliminaries was truly beautiful to witness. And keeping in mind Gura was able to place super high up in the finals really puts things into perspective as to how high Pekora could have placed had she qualified to the Tsuyo Cup. Pekora is good at games, and she practiced a lot. And for her to have such a fierce clash with a member I now consider one of the aces really makes me believe Pekora has what it takes to not only making it into the Tsuyo Cup, but perhaps placing in the top 3. This rabbit has had way too many close calls. She's coming for vengeance, and I put my belief in her. I'd be delighted to see yet another great victory in Pekora's repertoire. May the villainous find their triumph yet again. My next pick is the main character and resident son of Hololive, Ozora Subaru. Our lovely Taiyo Shoujo over here is a staple finalist, a veteran who came in 5th in the first tournament and 8th in the second tournament, and 8th again in the third tournament. Subaru is quite consistent, and in spite everyone getting better, she remains a solid contender in the Tsuyo Cup. And as such, I have no doubt she can make it in the next tournament yet again. Finally, like the other groups, the last pick is quite difficult to make, and I am quite torn between two members. Firstly is Ollie. The issue with Ollie is that she's quite inconsistent. The potential is there, she has the makings of a great racer, but it seems she can only awaken that potential through Olivia. When Olivia comes out, even the impossible becomes possible. So should she awaken Olivia throughout the entire preliminaries, I believe she can make it to the Tsuyo Cup. But that is also why I believe she's a bit inconsistent. Will Olivia pull through this year? That remains to be seen. Second, we have Reine, who against the odds managed to make it to the finals last time. She was Holo ID's representative and she performed respectfully well. The second tournament, Luna had been cursed with mushrooms, but in the third tournament, that curse was passed on to Reine. Still, mushrooms aren't too bad, they're great for shortcuts. So, if she's still cursed, she could certainly make good use of them. It all depends on how well she practiced shortcuts. Between Ollie and Reine, it will depend on whether or not Olivia comes out, so in the end I will pick Reine, since I believe her to be the most consistent in her performance. And of course, Reine made it to the Tsuyo Cup in the last tournament, so it adds to her resume. Those are my picks. However, honorable mention to Louis, who has apparently been practicing a lot off stream. As we all know, practice is what makes legends, and we've seen that in the previous tournaments. Suisei is the living proof of it, and so is Gura. So just like Iroha, keep your eyes on Louis, for she just may surprise us in the end. And there we have it. To summarize, in Group A, my picks are the Purple Lightning Bolts Nekomata Okayu, the Crimson Storm Voyager Hosho Marin, the Speed Demon Tokoyami Towa, and finally, Shirakami Fubuki. For Group B, my picks are the Azure Flash Comet Hoshimachi Suisei, the Cerulean Riptide Gawr Gura, the Elite Speedster Sakura Miko, and Himemori Luna / Tsunomaki Watame. Though, if you think I'm cheating for picking both of them, just pretend I picked only Luna, since I did say I was leaning very slightly towards her. For Group C, my picks are Okami Mio, Usada Pekora, Ozora Subaru, and Pavolia Reine. My overall honorable mentions in the preliminaries go to Natsuhiro Matsuri, Sakamata Chloe, Kazama Iroha, and Ouro Kronii for Group A, Roboco and Kayla for Group B, and Louie and Ollie for Group C, and of course, the Nurse of Steel Yuzuki Choco for last place in the Zago Cup. And once again, this video is just for fun, don't take anything I say too seriously, and remember that the performances of the members may change drastically based on how much they practice until the day of the tournament. So even members that I haven't mentioned in the video may just place really high if they practiced a lot on or off stream. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm very interested to see what your own predictions may be. Only one person can make it to the summit of the mountain. Who will be the one to tame the storm? Find out January the 7th in the Holo New Year Cup 2023. May the best player be victorious, and may it be a truly glorious tournament, full of surprises and fierce clashes.